Hey everyone, it's VM Campos, comic book fan. How are you? Welcome to another Top Comic Book Picks with VM Campos. Hey, that's me. So this is the series where we talk about the comic books that you need to know about for the following week. These are the issue number ones. These are the trade paperbacks. These are the comics of note that I have noted as cool comics to be on the lookout for the following week. These are the comics that if you want to be guaranteed your copy, you got to tell your comic shop by the final order cutoff date. As of this video, that is going to be August the 10th, Monday. So if you're watching the video live, great. Thank you so much for stopping by. Don't forget to chime in on the chat. If you are watching the video after the fact, there will be, there are, a bunch of chapter stops and such at the bottom in the description, and also down there at the, on the progress bar. It'll show you down there what the various publishers are. So let's get started and look at some comic books. Do you like that snazzy new transition? I just learned how to do that, to have a really cool little thing happen in between going to my different scenes. Is it too long? Tell me in the comments. But okay, let's start with Marvel. Over at Marvel, we've got Black Widow #1 coming out. So it's a perfect place to start off. There's a variety of variant covers. I went with the plain old Adam Hughes cover, but there's a bunch of others that you might like. So Kelly Thompson is the writer. Interior art by Elena Casagrande. And then Adam Hughes cover right here. Best-selling Eisner-nominated writer Kelly Thompson, who worked on Captain Marvel and Star, and rising star Elena Casagrande over at Catwoman, launch a new Black Widow series that changes everything. Natasha Romanoff has been a spy almost as long as she's been alive, and she's never stopped running, whether she was working for the good guys or the bad. But Natasha's world is about to be upended. Beyond San Francisco's Golden Gate lies a mystery that only the Marvel Universe's greatest spy can solve. Don't miss the heartbreaking thrill ride of 2020. So, issue #1 ready to get in on a brand new Black Widow series. Finally, we're gonna have the Black Widow movie. I guess, just 10 years later, and finally she can get her own movie. So Black Widow #1 from Marvel. Next up at Marvel, how about Immortal Hulk #0? This one's interesting. The real story of Brian Banner, with a new tale by Al Ewing. Al Ewing and Joe Bennett's Immortal Hulk. The series has illuminated the Hulk story like none before. This special issue reprints Incredible Hulk 312 and Incredible Hulk number -1, two of the pivotal stories that inspired the immortal take on Brian Banner, Bruce's father, and the terrifying conduit to the one below all. Plus, a brand new story reveals yet more secrets behind this mastermind of cruelty, a can't-miss issue of the Immortal Hulk for the Immortal Hulk fanatic. So yeah, the Immortal Hulk is doing extremely well. People love it. And so they're reprinting a couple of stories from back in the 90s in this brand new book, plus something new, and that's what inspired the current blockbuster Immortal Hulk stories. So we've got original writers Bill Mantlo, Peter David, and Al Ewing. Mantlo, I believe, co-created Rocket Raccoon, if I'm not mistaken. Tell me there in the comments if I'm wrong about that. Peter David, of course, Pad, everyone knows him. Al Ewing, and of course, art by Mike Mignola. So, Hellboy creator, worked in various publishers back in the day. Marvel, for example, before he made it big on his own. And Adam Kubert, of course. This is cover art by Mattia DeLulis. I would never expect to see a bloody baby on the cover of a Marvel comic, but that's what happens when babies are born. Now, kudos for the mask there, because it's a doctor, I guess, but it would have been more powerful to have the mask fully on, just like you're supposed to in today's climate of the pandemic. $4.99 in shops September 2nd. Next up, a new Marvel Zombies book, but no, it is not by Robert Kirkman again. Now, interestingly, Robert Kirkman, creator of The Walking Dead in 2003 or 2004, around there. And then 2005, I believe, Marvel Zombies came out, so Kirkman working with Marvel to do Marvel Zombies. And now, 15 years later, I can't do math, we've got another Marvel Zombies. We've had like at least 2 sequels, I think, plus the Secret Wars stuff that had some Marvel Zombies stuff. So now we've got Marvel Zombies Resurrection. There's a bunch of variant covers, so I'm picking this one, the Rian Gonzalez cover, which is like a decomposing and dead squirrel girl and a zombified Kamala Khan Miss Marvel. This cover is completely WTF, and I'm kind of freaked out by it. It's like cute and weird at the same time. Let's get a close-up right here if we can. Not too close, but yep. So Ms. Marvel has an eye in her mouth and her face is all stitched up, and Squirrel Girl also, there's her bones, and even Tappy Toe right there. Oh, I see. It's just the zombie. Oh, it's just a zombie filter. It's not that they really are zombies. That would have gotten me right in the heart. And then we've got a message from Spider-Gwen up here, or Ghost Spider. Meet you at 9, you guys game. And then they're sending off their cute little photos. So, okay, that's a cute cover. The Marvel Zombies rise again. When the corpse of Galactus reaches planet Earth carrying a cannibalistic virus, Spider-Man and a ragtag group of heroes struggle to save survivors and uncover the truth. Parental advisory. Maybe not have such vicious covers, so cute, vicious covers to confuse the kiddies into buying this and then get in trouble. Does it have like a TVMA rating somewhere? Philip Kennedy Johnson is the writer, Leonard Kirk is the artist, and Rian Gonzalez is this variant cover, $5.99, issue number 1. Let's see what other view all items here, all the other variant covers. So there's a lot of cool variant covers. Spider-Man is like the main character of this particular one, and here's like another really freaky Captain Marvel. Wow. Inhucley. Okay, so yeah, well, there we have the new Marvel Zombies Resurrection. Last Marvel comic here, Spider-Man Loves Mary Jane, graphic novel, trade paperback, secret thing. Sean McKeever and Terry Moore as writers, and etc. as artists, and this cover art by Takeshi Miyazawa. In the wake of shocking revelations, just what is the story between Mary Jane and Peter Parker? How about between Mary Jane and Spider-Man? Peter and Gwen Stacy? Spider-Man and Firestar? Things are getting complicated in the life of your favorite teen, Mary Jane Watson, and her classmates, including the irrepressible Liz Allen. But will true love finally run smooth for MJ? Face it, Tiger, you can't wait to find out. So this is back from 2005 and 2008. We had the Spider-Man Loves Mary Jane series of books, a different sort of take that, you know, they're high schoolers, they met in high school, you know, like high school dramas and such with Spider-Man and superheroes and all that good stuff. So this reprints Spider-Man Loves Mary Jane 14 to 20. I'm not sure how long that series went, but 20 issues of that is a very good run. And then there was another one in 2008, and that's 1 through 5, ages 10 and up. So the other credits we have here, McKeever, Moore, Hahn, and Rousseau working on that. $12.99 graphic novel. If you want to binge read stuff, here you go. Spider-Man Loves Mary Jane. This is 11 comics in one for $12.99. So if you're into, have you ever read any of these Spider-Man Loves Mary Jane books, or Spider-Man in general, or anything like that? Let me know right there in the chat. I remember seeing it on the shelves, and I thought it was like a cool concept to just get more people into Spider-Man and comics, and it's just like a variety of stories to tell. Let's go next up. Let's go over to Image Comic. Here's a brand new issue number 1. You can get it on the ground floor. Tell him VM Campos sent you. Inkblot number 1 from Image. Series premiere. Third generation comic artist Emma Kubert partners with up-and-coming creator Rusty Glad to deliver a high fantasy epic. So yeah, Emma Kubert, related to Joe Kubert, you know, the whole Kubert royal family of comic artists. Now she's making her way in the world of comics. That's very cool. This new ongoing series follows a powerful sorceress attempting to correct her great mistake, the creation of a magical cat that can travel through time, space, and reality. The cat threatens to unravel the fabric of the universe, doesn't care, and just won't listen. That's exactly how cats are. You know, they don't care if they knock over your drink off the table. They don't care if they destroy reality in the process. So this seems like a pretty fun series. And that's Emma Kubert writing, plus Rusty Glad. Art and cover art by Emma and Rusty, so I guess they kind of share all the various duties and such. We can see a little bit of a preview of what the book is right here. This cool modern art. I like this expansive page right here. So many books. I wish I lived there. And then like the trees. Isn't that like a trope of like some amazing library with a bunch of roots and stuff going through it? I love that. And then so this looks like good art, good colorization. And that's there's the fabric of the universe getting destroyed. So yeah, that's a brand new issue number 1 coming from Image Comics. Just coming out very soon by Kubert and Glad. Seems pretty cool. What about yourself? Would you check this book out? Hedra. This is a one-shot. It's a second printing. We have a very nondescript image coming soon. This is a second printing of this book that came out and did well enough that there's a second print. So here you can get in on reading it again, second print. In a glorious exploration of the comics medium with echoes of 2001, A Space Odyssey, Flash Gordon, Chris Ware, and Mobius, a lone astronaut leaves a world ravaged by nuclear war in search for life. What she finds is beyond all explanation. So it's just a one-shot, it's sold out, it's volume 2. Let's see if we can see over here. Let's look at the first printing, because that one had some actual art previews right here. Here we go. So the whole book, as I understand, is completely silent. Here we have nuclear destruction on Earth. Panel layouts of this book are amazing. And this is like the creativity of the comics medium. Everything is completely black and white. This constant usage of this grid of artwork where one could tell a complete story or multiple tell another one, and then in the totality of it you have something greater. So this is pretty amazing art, and again, this is the beauty of the comics art medium, to tell these stories visually and with text. I think comics are a little too wordy nowadays. There's so many comics where they put in just too much text. Here's the complete opposite. No text. Well, I guess you know that number right there. But it's no text and telling an amazing story. So this is the second print coming out. This is written by Jesse Lonergan and art and cover by Jesse Lonergan. Yep, there it is. So check this one out. One more Image book, Sex Criminals Special. This is the Sex Criminals Sexual Gary Special. So there's a regular cover. Of course, I'm going to recommend the XXX rated cover that is hidden behind the counter, that you have to walk in with your trench coat and ask the person behind the counter, can I please get Sex Criminals? VM Campo sent me. So, what's got 2 thumbs and a Sex Criminal special with a sizzling XXX cover by Katie Skelly? You, if you buy this and also have 2 thumbs. No judgment. Come as you are. It's all good. So, Katie Skelly worked on Maids and My Pretty Vampire. And this is the variant covers that they do that are the sexy covers. So yeah, check this one out. It's $5.69. Nice. Matt Fraction is the writer, as well as Chip Zdarsky, and Rachel Slott is the usual creative team. So new Sex Criminals one-shot over at Image Comics. Lucy Clare Redemption trade paperback. So this collects a bunch of books, issues 1 through 5. This is John Upchurch, writer, artist, cover artist, etc. Lucy Clare, once a celebrated hero, is now treated as a despised miscreant. Through a series of sinister events, Lucy's children were taken from her. She was slandered and defamed and is now broken and lost. But when an old danger reemerges, Lucy will have to take on her hero's mantle again in order to right the wrongs of the past, and above all else, find a way back to her children. So this collects Lucy Clare Redemptions 1 through 5. Very cool cover art right here. I love the aesthetic of this, like a badass lady here with her weapons, and look at those bad guys coming at her, and a little fox character. This looks really cool. So I never picked up the original books, the single issues, so here it is in a floppy. Here it is in a trade paperback collection instead of the floppies, coming out very soon, so order it soon from your local comic shop. Moving over to Dark Horse. This one I mentioned a while ago, before the pandemic, so finally here's like the last call to get issue number 1. Spy Island, 1 of 4. This, I'm going with the Metternich cover. I love this style right here. We'll zoom in on it. But we've got Chelsea Kane as the writer, and Elise McCall as the artist, with this variant cover by Leah Metternich. Super spy Nora Freud, no relation, has a plum assignment. She's stationed on a tropical island. Her mission? Keep an eye on things. Her problem? The island is on the lip of the Bermuda Triangle where anything can happen. So it seems pretty fun. Brought to you by the creative team of Maneaters, so that was a cool series. And here's a brand new spy-focused sort of comic. New comic series from New York Times bestselling author Chelsea Kane. And if we get the close-up on this, I just love this aesthetic. This is like this, I'm going to say like a disco aesthetic, but I believe this is an homage to like an album cover, like not Lady Gaga, but like someone, right? Tell me in the comments whose album cover homage is this. I swear that I've seen this album somewhere. But anyway, if it's not an album homage, it's a great pastiche of, I would say, like glam 70s disco concepts. So we've got that and a variety of other variant covers. I think I like that one as the most colorful. But yep, so check that one out. Another Dark Horse book, the Orville #1 launch day. David Goodman is the writer and David Cabeza is the artist. When seemingly hostile Krill ships cross into Union space, the Orville intercepts. Captain Mercer learns they are en route to a planet that left the Union decades ago under mysterious circumstances. Scans have discovered a moon-sized construct above the planet, and the Krill intend a preemptive strike against a presumed weapon. But is it? Written by the Orville executive producer David Goodman. So I like the Orville. It came out at the same time as Star Trek Discovery, and some people were saying like, this is the true Star Trek, not this pretender over here. I kind of felt the same way. I just thought Star Trek Discovery, it's like, is this modern, like way too dark, way too violent, way too TVMA version of Star Trek that I don't dig. Star Trek for me is like the wonder of exploration and character development, and yeah, there's some action and so forth, but not to the degree that Discovery is. And yeah, old man complaining at the modern stuff, but even Star Trek Picard, I just didn't feel was like my Star Trek. Now, if it's your Star Trek, kudos to you, have at it. There's a lot of great stuff to enjoy. That doesn't erase my fond memories of the best Star Trek of all, Star Trek Deep Space Nine. So, the Orville. I watched the Orville and Discovery, and I just like the Orville better. I haven't caught up with the last season. I've got it all on my DVR. But there's also comic books, and I love what them. There's a comic book version of things to just explore more things. This is part 1 of 2, and it's got the "Our comeback will be bigger than our setbacks" style. So also Michael Itaye on that. So if you're into that, I kind of don't like the look of the Orville when it's coming straight at you. I like it more at a profile or 3/4 view, then you can get the full sense of what it looks like. But anyway, if you want a sci-fi story in the vein of classic Star Trek: The Next Generation, check out the Orville. One more Dark Horse book, Criminal Macabre, The Big Bleed Out. This is a trade paperback. Steve Niles, Gyula Nemeth, creative team. Supernatural detective Cal McDonald, found wandering the streets as a disheveled vagrant, is ripped from his self-imposed retirement to resume his monster-killing career. Niles is one of the greatest monster comic writers in the last decade, thus, quote, bloody disgusting. So, 1999, trade paperback, complete collection of things. We've got Niles, Nemeth, and Pykos. Ooh, Nate Pykos, I like his stuff as well. And this cover looks great. I like this cartoony style of art and great graphic design with the division in between the living and the dead. And the colors are beautiful. Reminds me of some of this like pulp magazine stuff. More of the greens, like the sickly greens, not the pinks and purples over here, but together I think they do a good contrast of the cool and the hot aspect of colors. Moving over to IDW, we've got Be Gay, Do Comics, trade paperback. The dream of a queer separatist town, the life of a gay Jewish Nazi hunter, a gender reveal party that tears apart reality. These are just some of the comics you'll find in this massive queer comics anthology from the Nib. So the Nib is a really cool online, like, comic, not publisher, but yeah, comic publisher. The Nib is like a cool collection of artists publishing comics online in a variety of great topics. Be Gay, Do Comics is filled with dozens of comics about LGBTQIA+ experiences ranging from personal stories to queer history to cutting satire about pronoun panic and brands desperate to co-opt pride. Brimming with resilience, inspiration, and humor, an incredible lineup of top indie cartoonists takes you from the American Revolution through Stonewall to today's fights of equality, for equality and representation, featuring more than 30 cartoonists, including Hazel Newlevant, Joey Allison Sayers, Maya Kobabe, Matt Lubachansky, etc. Many, many more. $24.99, and I love these kinds of books. I love these anthologies with just a variety of writers and artists. And this cover is not, I'm sure, is not representative of all the art inside, but I love this style of art, this sort of like indie, cartoony style of art that is on the one hand simplified, but on the other hand very evocative. Look at that cat right there. Clearly that's not anatomically correct cat in real life, but via the tropes of comics, this is a cat, and you get the little eyes and the little ooh mouth and such. Cute. And then the whiskers. So I'm picking this one up here. I'm recommending it over here from IDW. It's $29.99. It doesn't say cover. It doesn't say how many. Unfortunately, it doesn't say how many pages, and that's always a thing about it doesn't. These never say how many page count, and I wish it would, so that we know how much we're getting bang for our buck. Moving over to IDW, we've got Kanto and Clockwork Fairies one shot. Kanto and the Clockwork Fairies one shot. David Buher as the writer and Drew Zucker as the artist. Second printing. So I mentioned this one before, and here now we have the second printing because this is popular enough to get a second printing. And full disclosure, I didn't love it. When I read issue number 1 of volume number 1, I didn't really love it. I know it went on for 12 or 14 issues or something. People loved it. But I'm bringing it out to you in case you want to get in on this world of the critically acclaimed fan favorite Kanto. David Buer, Drew Zucker, Vittorio Astoni, and Darren Bennett return to Kanto's world following the brave clockwork hero as he leads his people out from their home in Arcana to find somewhere and something new. So, brand new issue, one shot of Kanto. If you've never, I wonder if it really is like a good one shot in terms of I've never read the book and I'm going to pick it up and I'm not lost. I hope they do that. I hope they do that for readers. The problem with comics is that with such a huge history, especially with the big two, there's where do I even start? And comic publishers try to do new stories every few issues, but I think when someone sees, issue 86 of something, it's I don't even know where to start. I think they should make it more prominent that when there's a new storyline, they put it prominently on the cover. And I don't really love that they renumber everything back to number 1. Spider-Man is on issue, 42 or something, but Legacy 843 or 44. So I wish that they would put a prominent, number 1 of a new storyline. Anyway, so Kanto, yep, issue number 1, second printing right here, one shot. Check it out. Free Comic Book Day 2020, Usagi Yojimbo. Stan Sakai as the writer, cover art by Julie Fuji, and interior art by Fuji as well, by Sakai and Fuji. Join Usagi on an exciting adventure as he meets his most unusual traveling companion yet, Chibi Usagi. The two worlds of Usagi Yojimbo meld for a hilarious story that's perfect for kids and longtime fans of Usagi alike. Rating teen. So Fuji does the Chibi, or the SD Usagi, and then of course Sakai does his usual style. And this is a Free Comic Day version, suggested retail price, PI, I don't even know what that means. Diamond or Previous World should do a better job of some of these acronyms that they use, because obviously we all know it's Free Comic Book Day. What is this? Suggested retail price of PI? Do not know. But anyway, Usagi Yojimbo, check it out, he's cool. My Little Pony, Transformers, second printing. So, Friendship in Disguise. This is the recent series, issue number 1, second printing to get in on the ground floor. When Queen Chrysalis casts a spell looking for more changelings, she accidentally interfaces with a malfunctioning space bridge. What's this mean for our favorite fillies? There are suddenly a bunch of Autobots and Decepticons in Equestria. Hilarious. So I've mentioned this before on previous episodes, and if you still haven't gotten it, you still have a chance to hang out with Optimus Prime, Applejack, Rainbow Dash, Pinkie Pie, and etc. So this cover looks hilarious. There's Megatron back there looking very dour, and Starscream and such, and Twilight Sparkle. Hilarious. So yeah, Transformers versus My Little Pony, Friendship in Disguise. Nothing really of note at Dynamite. No issue number 1s or trade paperbacks, so I'm going to go with Red Sonja number 19, cosplay cover. Now this does mention a jumping on point for new readers, so that's what I'm talking about, that they should make it prominent in their covers that there's a new plot going on. So here we have that Red Sonja. Here's a Red Sonja that you can get in on. Starting plot. Sonja the Red, victorious, but ruling is impossible, and a young old foe returns with a plan to kill Red Sonja by Mark Russell, worked on Swamp Thing, and Alessandro Miracolo, worked on Zorro. So here we have a great cosplayer as Red Sonja, very accurate outfit, except for the tattoos. And then we've got a Karen, not a Karen, but a C-A-I-R-N, Cairn, however you say that. I'm not British, so I can't quite say it right. But a cairn is a pile of rocks, basically. And if this is the full cover, it's a little odd that there's so much empty space at the top here, unless that's where the rest of the stuff is going to go about, like cover price or whatever, because we cut off her boots here, and that's kind of weird composition. The image could have still been lowered a little bit to have the full view, but just a minor quibble. And lastly, on Dynamite, again, no number 1s, no trade paperback, so I'm going to go with Vampirella, number 13, cosplay cover. This is Christopher Priest as the writer, Ergun Gunduz as the artist, as well as Giovanni Timpano, and cosplay cover. Seduction of the innocent continues. In a misguided effort to help her daughter, Lilith attempts to make a believer out of the skeptical Doc Cherry. Meanwhile, dissension breaks out among Vampirella's deadliest enemies, and Vampy gains a determined young acolyte. So this is in the middle of a big plot. It's not a good jumping on point unless you've been reading the previous issues. But cosplay covers are always cool. Dynamite does a bunch of them, and so here's the book I'm picking from them. Moving over to Boom Studios. Here we have an original graphic novel. Ben Queen as the writer, and Joe Todd Stanton as the art. The bear is a guide dog for the blind, and he would do anything for his best friend and owner, Patrick. But when Bear suddenly loses his own vision, he worries that he is losing his purpose. Determined to protect Patrick at all costs, Bear sets out on a quest to regain his eyesight. Writer Ben Queen of Disney Pixar's Cars 2 and 3. Now, is that the actual Cars 2 and 3 movie, or is that the Cars comic books? Either way, that's a good pedigree, Ben Queen. Draws inspiration from real-life stories of how memory can influence how we recall our own surroundings. And artist Joe Todd Stanton, A Mouse Called Julian, lovingly renders an unforgettable story of one dog's grand adventure from the wooded countryside to the heart of Manhattan, where he encounters new friends and discovers his true calling. So if this cover art is any indication, the interior art is also very good in this sort of style, this sort of angular style, flat style with some interesting cell shading, like, you know, that sort of like edge of colorization is this style that I've seen. And there's a bear over there as well. So cool art. Story sounds pretty cool. Good creative team. So that's coming from Boom. And Boom, here's one that's really interesting. We only find them dead. We only find them when they're dead is a brand new issue number 1. For fans of decorum and Something is Killing the Children comes a new sci-fi epic from Al Ewing and Simone DeMeo. On the edge of space where humanity is harvesting the corpses of giant alien gods to survive. No one has ever seen a living god, but Captain Malik is obsessed with being the first. Captain Malik and the crew of the Vihan, too, harvest the only resources that matter from their giant corpses of alien gods found on the edge of humanity. While other autopsy ships race to salvage the meat, minerals and metals that sustain the human race, Malik sees an opportunity to finally break free from this system. So, fascinating book. Again, comics can be so amazing. This is, you know, the world of the future where salvage ships are feasting upon the remains of the corpses of the gods. You know, Shades of Galactus right here, Reverse Galactus, issue number 1. Here's some interior art. So, anime-esque art style like that. Great colors, cool perspectives, realistic or fleshed out, you know, universe of characters, great colorization. Yeah, so I can't wait to get this one. It's coming out issue number 1. There's a couple of other variant covers, and there's the other cover, which is also kind of very well graphically designed. Just like big block of text with a little ship in a cool perspective, and some stuff inside of the text. So I like that one. Moving on, we got a couple of Zenescope books here. So Bell, Ghost, and Goblins, one shot. This is cover C, the Josh Burns cover that I'm going for. Dave Franchini as the writer. Legendary beast hunter Annabelle Belle DeMarco has always stuck to the shadows to protect the world from its unknown nightmares. But when those terrors start gruesomely murdering residents of a Philadelphia neighborhood, the police are left at a loss. Belle will need to take this string of murders into her own hands, and what creatures she finds behind it are unlike anything she has ever encountered. So it's a one-shot. You don't have to have a lot of baggage about this character, and I think that's kind of cool. Comics alternate between epic stories that you've got to be reading every single issue and then small one-shots. So pick up this one if you want something different as a one-shot. And then one more here. Conspiracy, Black Knight's Satellite one-shot. So this is kind of interesting. Years ago, NASA, on a NASA mission, caught a glimpse of what officials reported as space debris making its way back to Earth. Others claim this is the photographic evidence of an extraterrestrial spy satellite that has been orbiting the Earth for over 13,000 years, transmitting data on us back to an otherworldly location. Now this is real. This is a real conspiracy rant, that is. I've seen plenty of these conspiracy websites for fun, to laugh at them. And one of them is the Black Knight, which is there is a satellite up there that's been around, that's been orbiting Earth for thousands of years, 13,000 years, and we discovered it when NASA started launching ships and stuff and all of that. And I've seen a picture of it. It looks pretty cool. Probably photoshopped. But this is a comic book about that. So I don't believe in 99% of these conspiracy rants, and you shouldn't either, because they're usually detrimental to your sanity, and especially these current ones about COVID. Don't even listen to any of those. They could kill you, literally. But in the world of fiction, it's kind of cool to see these things and laugh at it, and kind of like a what-if sort of story. Throughout the years, there have been many theories surrounding this mysterious object that has been dubbed the Black Knight satellite. Is the truth to the object out there? Are we being watched? And if so, what are the intentions of those doing the watching? Find out inside this issue. So this has 2 variant covers. Oh yeah, there's 2 variant covers, but there's these other conspiracy books as well. Here's the other one. So pretty abstract compared to the other one. I guess looking at it again, I kind of like this cover a little bit better than the other one. So it's like, there's the Earth and there's the Black Knight. That's not the Black Knight that I've seen. This looks like a black skull. So, artistic license, I guess. Anyway, so we've got Hans Radenoff and Adam Goldberg as the writers, and then Alan Otero as the artist, and this is a Leonardo Colapietro variant cover. And the other cover here was an Igor Vitorino cover. Yeah, that's the one that looks... That's the Black Knight satellite that I've seen more. Okay, I see. So it's got the skull on that edge. Okay, interesting. So, yep, there's that conspiracy rant about a satellite that's been spying on us for 13,000 years. Next, let's go over to Titan Comics. Doctor Who, Time Lord Victorious, #1. Jody Hauser as the writer. Art by Roberta Ingranata. And this is the variant cover by Henry Prasetya. A thrilling new adventure for the 10th Doctor, the David Tennant one, of course, that sees the shocking return of his deadliest enemies, the Daleks. Daleks? But things aren't what they seem. Time is all wrong, and something is coming that terrifies even the Daleks. The first of 2 oversized issues kicking off the BBC's highly anticipated multi-platform Doctor Who epic, Time Lord Victorious. So TBH, I'm not a big Doctor Who watcher. I know that it is beloved and is, been around 50 or 60 years or whatever. And the 10th Doctor, David Tennant, is one of people's favorite ones. So here's a brand new book over from Titan with more of the good stuff that you like. Cool art. The caricature of Tennant, I think, looks very good. And yeah, that's over from Titan. There's a variety of variant covers. I went with this one. I love the Daleks and the lightning and everything, so very nice. One more Titan book, Horizon Zero Dawn #1, second printing. So a brand new comic series based on the award-winning game by Guerrilla. Alloy and Talana return in a new story set after the events of the game. Nature has reclaimed the planet, awe-inspiring machines dominate the land as humanity fights for survival on this new Earth. Co-created by one of the writers of Horizon Zero Dawn game, Ann Toole. So Ann Toole writer, and Melina artist, cover artist by Artgerm. So this is a second printing. Artgerm, I think, I like his art, but I think he is stuck on a very specific trope of his art. So I'm glad that he's branched out to a little bit more of a different style here in terms of it's realistic like his art usually is, but the colors are very different than what he usually does. He usually goes with realistic colors. Here's like these very evocative tones. And plus, it's not his style of like hyper realized femme fatales style that he does. Here's a much more realistic person that could exist compared to what he usually does, and it's very realistic. I like the result a lot. So yep, this is second printing of this series. Check it out to start off on a brand new series. We're in the home stretch here. We've got a couple more. Next up, over at Artists, Writers, and Artists, AWA, they also published Year Zero. Grendel, Kentucky, 1 of 4. This is the Edwards cover. So Jeff McComsey as the writer, and interior plus cover art by Tommy Lee Edwards. For 2 generations, the rural hill town of Grendel, Kentucky has honored its Faustian bargain with the monster living in its abandoned coal mine. A human sacrifice every season in return for agrarian prosperity. I was going to skip some stuff here, but reading it myself, has never seen agrarian prosperity, the likes of which this rocky region has never seen before, including its greatest cash crop, the dankest weed in the land. So that's why I've got the little weed icon up here. So, funny thing here, 2 generations? In fiction, it's always like countless generations or 10 generations. Like 2 generations? That was like barely 40 years ago. When one town elder breaks this pact, Grendel's only hope is that its prodigal daughter will return home to face down the creature of her nightmares and bring her all-female biker gang with her. This sounds freaking epic. It sounds like one of these grindhouse movies. Even the comic book cover looks like one of those movie posters. And so we got these characters, shotguns, old wizened characters, something evil in the mines, badass biker, and weed. So this is 1 of 4, rated mature. This looks like a pretty cool series. I'm picking this one for the following week. Grendel, Kentucky, number 1. Oh, we can see a little interior art here. So let's see here. We've got this style that I like, that it's not too realistic, that it's got some edges of cartooniness. We've got this decompression going on, but at the same time it does focus on actual actions. So we've got the tape getting ready, we've got the knife getting ready, we've got the glug glug. Oh, okay, that's a chainsaw. I couldn't quite tell that's a chainsaw. We got the shotgun ready, even more weapons, and zip it all up. Yeah, so someone's totally loaded for bear. We get a lot of preview issues here. I think AWA is doing a good job of as a new publisher to put out some interesting books. I got their Year Zero that I liked. They've got other stuff, so yeah, cool style on that. I like that art by Tommy Lee Edwards, and the story seems interesting. So, Grendel, Kentucky. And the last book of the day for this week, Lonely Receiver number 1, is by Zach Thompson, writer, Jen Hickman, cover artist. And what a cover this is. Check out the close-up right there. Whoa, this is pretty disturbing. Skull and blood and someone popping out of someone's eye. So this is from Aftershock. They've been around a few years now. Marguerite Bennett is one of the big names in that company. Katrin Vander, a lonely video producer, buys an artificial intelligence partner that's meant to bond for life. After 10 years together, her holographic wife suddenly disconnects without a warning. The breakup drives Katrin to the point of near insanity. She's alone for the first time in years and is reeling from a close loss she can't comprehend. So just by that little paragraph, this is taking place in some sort of future where we can have artificial intelligence partners. And I'm on board. Let's see what this story's about. Set in the near future, drenched in pastels and sunshine, Lonely Receiver is a horror breakup story in 5 parts. Written by Zach Thompson, who worked on Undone by Blood, The Replacer, Her Infernal Descent, No One's Rose, and X-Men, and illustrated in color by Jen Hickman of Moth and Whisper and Text. Who are you in another's eye? It's not what you think. Don't you cry. So I like it when they put this extra stuff in the solicitations. Like the Venom 2099 was like pleading for your help. So this is $4.99 over from Aftershock. It's one of 4. Is it ongoing or what? How many are there? Number 2 is coming eventually, so that'll be in October. Yeah, so those were my picks for this week. A variety of comic books, superhero stuff. Actually, that image over there is disgusting. Let's close it up over here. Not that one, but this is. We'll keep this one. So yeah, well, comic fans, that's the end of the line. These are the comic books that I like for the following week. These are the comic books you need to tell your comic shop. VM Campos sent me for these books. Please put them in my pull list. Remember, support your local comic shops. Hashtag BackTheComeback. Go to comicshoplocator.com to find a local comic shop to support your comics. Digital comics are fine and dandy, but brick and mortar real life comic shops with real life people I think are better. Get a good rapport with your comic retailers. They often get you cool stuff when you're a loyal patron of their shops. So whenever safe, visit your shops or have them do curbside pickup and such, and get some comics from your local shops. So what did you think about my picks? What did you like? What did I miss? What did you not like? Tell me all about it in the comments. Don't forget to come by the next time I'm live, next Saturday. Follow to find out when that is. That'll either be 11 a.m. or 1 p.m. Pacific. I'm trying out different time zones to see what people like. And again, if you're watching the video after the live event, it's down on the description there, the various chapters, and the progress bar are the chapter stops. So there it is there. Thanks so much for watching. This has been VM Campos, comic book fan, and I'll see you on the next Top Comic Book Picks.